morning, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of Munch&Learn. Delighted to be joined by Robin Yeung today from Counting King. And today's subject is really all about how you can get a grant, how you can secure a grant for your growing business. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to be interested in that. I know we've got a few live on the call and lots more that will watch this in perpetuity afterwards. So welcome, Robin. Before we dive in, do you want to just introduce yourself briefly in terms of what you do?
Yeah, thanks very much for inviting me. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Robin Yeung, Head of Tax Services at Counting King. Grant facilities is one of the areas that my team looks at, and really is just dealing with inquiries and from businesses, hopefully such as yourselves, looking at potentially innovation and funding from such as governmental bodies or local authorities that will hopefully inspire and improve the economy, really.
Excellent. Well, we're all about inspiring and improving the economy. So thank you again for joining us, Robin. Let's dive straight in. What grants are available then for small businesses?
There's a host of a number of grants, whether it's from local authorities, central government, or even some well-publicized bodies such as certain charities. The area that I'm really going to try and narrow down, because I'm going to profess and say I'm not an expert on every single grant, and anybody who says that they are, they're just telling you there's just so many grants and so many rules of what they can and what they will require. Generally, I'm going to stick to, if you don't mind for the audience, mainly the ones for where my expertise potentially lies in with my team is in the authorities, local authorities, and potentially central government. And the central governments usually I'm going to stick to are the Innovate UK funding. That's where the body is looking for innovation and looking to empower companies by providing them almost non-repayable funds to show what, regardless of the size of the company and also certain stages of the development. And hopefully this might be not necessarily in the immediate short term 3 months, but more of this is a project that somebody's going to say, I've got a fantastic idea, and it could almost be quite revolutionary or really empowering the economy in the sector I work in, and it's going to take a good 9+ months to take, because they want to see, like everybody, they want to blow their own trumpet about how they've invested in that particular product that will actually enable that company to grow and the economy to drive.
Okay, and what are the government, what Innovate UK, what constitutes innovation from their perspective, Robin? Okay,
so there's got to be a few, like everything. There's going to be a few criteria selection. I suppose the first one is there's got to be a real reason for this product. So I suppose the best way of saying this is to try and derive certain examples. Like if you're going to say, take it back in time and say you had the idea for creating, I don't know, apologies for everybody for my terrible movie memorabilia, but if you could create a hoverboard like Back to the Future, that would be definitely something innovative. Might be very fanciful, but the general view is that you can see something that can actually be a potential leader in that market that's going to actually shake up that market. It's not always necessarily, it has to be that fanciful. The continuum would be whether it be completely innovative or something that is markedly improvement to what is already out there in the actual market. So I suppose the better way of saying this is things that are looking and copying existing products, but actually there is just because you're playing catch up, or you can see that there's a gap. And if you can do something different with that gap, that might be innovative enough. So it will depend.
Does it have to be a physical product that you're making, or?
It can be, it's usually a product or a service that would actually be showing where that actual advancement is or that innovation will lie.
Okay, so what kind of service innovation?
I suppose it would be almost, again, it would probably be leading to a product, in the sense of that if you're, I don't know, if you're looking at, I'm working with a couple of clients, and they're looking at hydrogen reusable energy, and actually finding a way that can actually store that and make that be a better infrastructure. At the moment, it's still very much in its infancy stages, and it's looking at what could be done in the future.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So I suppose it's not, I think the better way of saying this is, it can't just be a theoretical approach. It's got to be leading to something that will deliver for the economy. And I suppose saying, oh, I can provide this service, it's almost not tangible, for want of a better phrase.
Okay, so you've got an innovative idea, be it a product or a service.
Mm-hmm.
What happens next? They have various rounds of application, don't they? How does it work?
There is an application, I suppose. It's almost, so if I could start with the process of hopefully one of the businesses has a great idea. They'd want to actually speak to somebody, whether it's myself or somebody in dealing with the grants expert, and actually they just inquire what would be the process. The process would be really is, what's your idea? What are you actually looking for? I suppose one of the exclusions, if I could start with, is things that are going to be, I've already, if somebody came up to me and said, Robin, I've developed this, it's a fantastic idea, it's a new hoverboard, and I'm ready to go to market, but I just need some investment in marketing. Yeah. Regrettably, this is not something that actually UK Innovate would be interested in, whilst they're very much interested in the development and actually the seed growth for that particular product. The actual marketing, they're actually saying, well, it's already ready to go. It's actually just almost a business as usual. And they would actually say, this is more to do with a loan, or actually what you need to finance that approach. They're looking for, and that's why I started saying at the beginning, they're looking for projects that are 9 months plus, where there's clearly some requirement, and ideally the longer the better, because what they're trying to do is say, what are you trying to do if you had no ability to get a grant funding, which obviously everybody has to take on board, but what would be your plan to grow the business, to grow that particular and develop that product and launch it into the market? And that might take, unfortunately, best part, some ideas, no matter how fantastic they are, might take 18, 24 months. And actually then it'd be to somebody like me and saying, right, so if it's going to take, for argument's sake, 24 months, then what is your, for want of a better phrase, business plan? How are you going to get to that 24-month to say, what would you do? And if that person then says, yeah, this is my plan, can you help me, Robin? I've got some great ideas, but I'm not that brilliant at writing things like this, and it's all in my head. Then it's almost like, how do we decipher that information, get it down on paper, and then show what it can be, and almost what would the potential of a grant actually improve on that timeline, or what would it do for not only readying that quicker, but also expansion potentially than just the original plan.
I guess the ethos behind it is that they're able to bring ideas to life and to the economy that wouldn't happen if there wasn't this funding available.
Very much so, yeah, James. Yeah, you put it far more succinctly than I can.
And how do you go about the application? Because they have it's a bit like a competition, isn't it?
It's very much like a competition. It's it would be fair to say that the last round of Innovate UK, there are going to be almost 1,000 companies all competing for the same kind of prize pool. So the intention is that when you use somebody like Counting King and they're going to try and obtain all the information out of the business owner's head and get it all on paper and make sure that this application, because it is limited to X number of words per actual section. So you can't make it a War and Peace dossier. You have to allow them to read it and summarize things. But it is a case that you are competing with everybody else, not just in terms of the idea, please. It's more about about how business ready is everybody. It's great to say, I'd love £1 million. Trust me, if I could find a way of writing a grant for £1 million, I'd be doing it potentially myself. But actually, how does that £1 million actually deliver for the business? Do you understand that if you went into this market and if I may use my same example, in 24 months' time, what does that do? Do you know your routes to the market? What is the size of the opportunity? What is the likely return of investment? If somebody said that, what would it reduce? Would it reduce the timeline from 24 months down to 14 months? And again, I'm just making those numbers up. The other thing is, realistically, what is it that you're prepared to contribute? Because no, Innovate UK is not going to just, as much as it says, and I hear loads of people that say, Robin, you can get a grant. Great. Can I just have £1 million? If it was that easy, it'd be done. But they're going to say, for certain milestones, we're going to release tranches of money. So you've got to hit a success criteria. That's going to be established. The other major thing is, how much are you, as the business owner, prepared to contribute? So they might contribute 2/3 of every tranche of money, and you will have to show that you're investing 1/3 of the money.
Okay. And what, in terms of other stuff that they look for, in terms of giving some people some tips, if they decide to write their own application and not use an expert like yourself, Robin, which somebody might want to do, what are they looking for? How are they picking the winners in this competition?
You can download the applications. You've got to stay within the wording, the number of words. They're looking for, and I've already said, how business ready are you? So, do you have a business plan? Do you understand what you're actually market you're going into? What are the experts that are going to show that your idea is credible, for want of a better phrase? Do you have supporting documentation to show that if you could achieve X, Y, Z milestones, this will deliver this? And what is your future plans? Because like everything, it's not just going to be the first 2 years, whilst the grant application might show that you're looking for that. It's going to say, if we got this, it might drive us actually for the next 3 years to actually grow. And what will it do to your idea in the terms of, it won't mean, hopefully, that you're working almost 17, 18 hours a day, that you might be able to recruit X person as an expert in this particular field that will help, for argument's sake, the IT digital platform, if that's where you were potentially looking at as to grow the kind of service. Or are you actually recruiting? Have you got somebody who you can almost take on as an expert engineer? I don't know. But those are things to say, realistically, what do you believe your business plan version 1, in my terrible expression, as nothing else happens and I just do it by almost evolution over time, and I put in the hard work and effort? But what will it be by almost revolution if I could take that original baseline business plan and then say, if I got an investment of X amount of money, this would derive this?
Yeah, so I get it. You've got to have a really clear idea. You've got to have a clear vision. Great business plan. prepared to put some skin in the game yourself. Are there any kind of topics that help you? Are there certain things that they are looking for? I don't know, does it have to be green or helping society, or does there anything?
There are elements of those, but they're looking just for, really, especially Innovate UK, just looking for innovative ideas. If you are looking at certain applications for, there are more local authorities for certain green, environmental, and also economy. The Chancellor, made the announcement in the recent autumn statement about actually how they're going to provide further details on the 12 areas that are going to be uplifted in the region. And they will all have a certain pot of money, but like everything else, there will be businesses that will be competing with yourself, and they will all want a slice of that money, and how they obtain it depending on what boxes that, or what application funding that they're looking for, that authority is providing.
Are there any other, you've covered a lot of ground there, but is there any other tips or advice you'd give people for increasing their chances of winning the Innovate UK?
I suppose the one thing is, if you're not, and please, it is like you said very much, James, it's like a competition. So if you truly believe in your idea and you think you've got a good chance, the thing about it is Innovate UK will provide a detailed response as to why potentially you've not been successful on this. And actually, it will give you some very good feedback to say, where that application needs to actually improve on. And that is to, if you truly believe in yourself and your idea, and don't just take this fall at the first hurdle. It is about, unfortunately, going through the business world and understanding that there is always rewards, but not everybody succeeds straight away. Great,
don't give up. You could go again. You could apply again.
Yeah, and it doesn't preclude you from retrying it and actually taking stock, because there are a number of potential clients I meet quite often, and they have great ideas, but they don't really know how to, for want of a better phrase, join the dots to make that almost a compelling argument. When they speak to them, when I speak to them, they're very passionate, they're very knowledgeable about what they do, what they want, but actually they don't really know outside. And to a certain degree, that's, like everything else, not everybody can be an expert in everything.
Absolutely, yeah. So if that's you, then seek out an expert to help you.
Yeah, I would recommend, if it's not us, I would definitely, if you feel brave enough, please have a look at it and look at what is the criteria. It would be just like anything. If you're going to do it on your own, very much good luck. I can, hopefully some of these tips and your association, James, will try and help. But at the end of the day, you're up against X thousands of businesses that are going to be applying for the same pot of money. There is only so much money that Innovate UK will release every single quarter. Okay.
Yeah.
What I would say though is, if you're serious about this and the money is there and it's almost you're prepared to pay for the fees, then you're going to have somebody almost like who's going to have a professional person actually completing that application for them, taking the ideas out of their head and actually trying to document it in the best way possible.
Excellent. And there's quite a few smaller companies that tune into this as well.
Mm-hmm.
And may not be your particular area of expertise, but clearly grants is an area that you're very much involved in. Are there any other areas that people should look or investigate? People who maybe not relevant, Innovate UK might not be relevant for them, but they're looking to grow their business in other ways. Are there any other support available for them?
So there is a tool. Counting King does have a grant finder tool that actually, if you could narrow particular sector and particular type of grant funding, we can see, we have a large database and we can see what potentially is out there, and then provide a very much, is this of interest to you? If so, this is what that is looking for. And it would depend on what type of applications and rules are required for each one.
Okay.
So there is that facility.
Okay. So are there any other advice generally in terms of going and getting grants? Are there a lot available right now, or?
There's quite a few. My own personal opinion is that very much it depends on how big that pot is and how much of it is already being distributed. So the earlier in the year is usually better. And
Okay,
then once the rounds start, especially my opinion that, there's always going to be certain government and Innovate UK monies available. It's just how much is being spent and how much is their particular budget available.
Yeah, and there's quite a lot around for green initiatives as well, aren't there, at the moment?
Yes, there are. And
things that
as I said,
could do.
Yeah, it would depend on what that impact to the carbon footprint, to the climate is all looking at, and how are you getting there, rather than actually trying to provide a definitive solution for solving the whole green situation.
Yeah, but it's probably a good moment for those people who want to get ahead of the market to take the money available, because and again, it's just supposition for me, but in a number of years' time, then these things will become laws or taxes, probably.
It goes without saying. I think somebody was trying to show me the stats of a report, almost 5-6 years ago, about the electric vehicles and certain hybrids, and now almost the infrastructure is almost there. Almost somebody's as an opportunity to try and deliver for that particular focus, if that's where they believe the whole of the car sector is going.
Yeah, well, that's another whole.
Yeah. And again, it would depend on, rather than trying to provide solutions for every single thing, it's almost what is the ones that I would definitely, going back to what you were saying earlier, the ones that are very successful is almost understanding that passion and enthusiasm from that business owner, because they will have almost done their full research, rather than just me literally taking their ideas and trying to write it on paper. It's like trying to encapsulate all of that passion and energy from that business owner into why this idea is so great and will deliver so well for the economy.
Excellent. Sounds like a bit of a Dragon's Den pitch.
Yeah, it can be. It can be. It will be very much just a written paper application, but it will be given. And some of the feedback, rightly or wrongly, can be seen a bit harsh. But it's more of, the clients I work with, I would go, right, so we've scored X. This is where we've got to actually tell us which areas of the actual application either need, for want of a better phrase, beefing up, what actually needs to be proven, what needs to be actually documented. And then how do we get that? They won't say exactly what needs to be done, but it's almost, we can take that and then say, right, our experience has said, we can show you this, and this is what we're looking at.
Yeah, and you've got to be quite a good writer, I guess. If your only ability to get your passion and idea and your plan across is through the written form, then
yeah, because it's one thing to be very much all of those attributes, and it's great. The other thing as well is, especially, not just saying this, but please consider using, because somebody as an expert who will have had experience of writing these applications, they'll know how to actually translate your behaviors, your emotions, your energy, but almost to make that application business ready, because you've got to convince somebody reading this that this is almost the next best thing to sliced bread. But it's not just a fantastic idea, it's going to be a credible business venture. Innovate UK aren't going to invest X amount of money and give you pot of money, even if you're putting in some money yourself, but actually not delivering this, because it's got no chance of success, because there's no ideas on marketing, there's no ideas on what the route to market is, there's no ideas on those kind of factors.
Excellent. And what's your kind of success rate?
Success rate, I would be honest, it's not, I'm never going to claim it's 100%. I just don't think that's credible.
Appreciate your honesty.
It's realistically, I would say we have about 2/3 successful applications. That is those that when we talk to the clients, and it may be that, especially after the first attempt, they understand actually this is what we may need, and in your area, do you have that particular subject matter expert that will add credibility to what you're doing, or not?
And I presume that they can have a conversation with you to work out if they're ready or if it's appropriate, or if another grant would be more appropriate, something like that.
Correct. And as I said, we do have this tool like Counting King, that it's not just Innovate UK, whilst that is the main one, and that's the main almost like super prize. There are all the local authorities, and like I said, if you give us the industry you're working in and the type of grant that you believe you think you'd be interested in, and whether there's monies from the local authorities or certain other bodies, we can provide and have this database that is updated, and my IT colleagues will kill me later when I tell them that's going to be updated every week or 2 weeks, and they're going to go, Robin, we didn't say that. But
you do now.
Yeah, I did now. But we do have this facility, and it does need to be, it can be used, and it's just a quick discussion to inquire and find out, and then obviously see whether they wish to use our services or whether we wish them the best of luck, and hopefully they are successful in their application.
And is that a free service, Robin?
It is a free service at this moment in time. It's something that again, it's not just, oh, I've got this idea, great, and I'm looking at environment. What is it? It's almost got to be something, okay, what type of grant? And I suppose the better question of putting it is, how much are you looking for? What is it? How much are you looking for? Because if everybody's looking for £1 million, then don't necessarily go to the local authorities. But if you're looking for, a few tens of thousands of pounds, and we can then say, actually, whilst we'd love to help you, we do charge a professional fee, and it might not be appropriate. Yep. This is what you need to do, and then direct them at this moment in time.
And I guess it can work a couple of ways, can't it? I could have a thing in mind or an idea, and I could go away and work out how much money I needed to make that happen.
Yeah.
Or I could just be a business person thinking, well, if there's a pot of money out there to help me do something, I might want to investigate it. So
very much so. It's
what money you might be able to tap into for initiatives that you might decide to do. That would be a sensible thing to assess as part of where you are planning.
I don't know if I'm not sure if it's sensible, only because then it's almost giving me an impression of a complete scattergun approach. That is dependent on what are the biggest sizes will then drive my idea. As I said, the ones that I've been really successful with are the ones who almost have that passion, that burning desire for that idea they've already kind of, even if it's very much in its infancy. And Robin, I've met some clients who are brilliant people, but literally they will confess and say, if I say, where's your business plan? They go, it's a back of a fag packet, mate. I've got no chance. I can get it. It's all in my head. But...
Yeah, Robin, I was thinking less of the... Okay. I was thinking less of the ideas, more, I don't know, business decides that they're going to take a step to be greener.
Yeah.
And they might make their own decision of actions they take, unaware that there are 3 grants of things that they could have taken advantage of.
Apologies for misunderstanding,
missing out on opportunities like that.
Oh no, if that's the case, and if that's, I suppose it's then understanding what's available out there and what might then drive them to be more, okay, I was always going to be, let's say I was going to make this company greener. I was always going to be looking at certain types of vehicles, certain, whether it's reducing the carbon footprint on whether it's the vehicles, whether it's the business, and etc. And actually, what can I do then to actually bring that forward? That's, I suppose, what you're looking at, and then seeing what's available, and then how do I then make that appropriate? Yes,
absolutely. So that would be the brief for you.
Yeah, apologies. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time this morning and taking us through how we can benefit from some of those grants.
No, thank you very much for having
going
me.
away and thinking of ideas.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time. And yeah, if anybody wants to contact me, they can contact at Counting King. Okay.
Excellent. And perhaps you could share details with Karen of the of how to access the tool. We can share that on the community for people.
Certainly can do. We can certainly get that sorted out. If as I said, terrible on IT, but if you send me the details, I'll respond as quickly as I physically can. But
will do. Thank you
very
much
much for your time,
Robin.
Thank you.
Thank you.